Hey guys, welcome back to another plan with me. This week I'm planning from January 30th to February 5th, and I'm using this Pink Diamond Planner Co kit. I love this kit. I love this kit so much, and this is exactly what I want in a winter themed kit. This color scheme and this artwork, it's just so good. And it was I guess it was a pretty good week to use this kit. Not that we got any snow. We actually didn't get any snow at all this winter. And normally, and I guess I am relieved that we haven't been getting any snow, but I know it's not normal. So it's definitely weird, but I'm not gonna lie, it's been really nice not slipping on black ice or having to salt any sort of sidewalk or like having to dig a parking spot out on the streets of Philadelphia just to have someone else take it when you come home. So it's, I know it's not great, but whatever. But we did have a really random cold weekend, very similar to Christmas. It didn't get quite as cold. It wasn't it wasn't 6 degrees, but it was pretty cold. I think it was like 13 degrees. So definitely not much warmer. But that being said, I had a much better weekend this week than I did previously. I just did a whole lot of nothing, which was much needed. If you saw my previous plan with me, I was just very overwhelmed, very overstimulated. Too many people in a small space, too many children screaming and playing and giggling and jumping. So yeah, that definitely this weekend was much better. Unfortunately, the apartment drama continued throughout this week. And looking back, it's not that big of a deal, but at the time I was feeling insanely overwhelmed, especially because my roommate was not in town at all this week. So I was the one who was like trying to figure out what to do about the fact that our door code had been compromised. In case you care, I live in a co-op, so it's not like there's one landlord who takes care of everything. Every floor is owned by a different person, so it makes things a little bit more confusing and tricky. And yeah, just more apartment drama. And then also the fact that I was taking care of both cats all week, including the weekend, got a little bit tricky. Again, really not a big deal. And during the week, honestly, it's easier to just be the only person responsible because then I feed them when I want to, I do the litter when I want to, and I don't have to worry about somebody else's schedule. But the fact that I don't live with my significant other and I do want to see him every once in a while, and he also has a cat, so it's not like both of us can just like stay at each other. You know what I mean? You kind of get it. I guess my point was like I did spend 2 nights at his place, and so I would have to drive home every day to take care of the cats. And on Sunday when I came to take care of the cats, they had completely trashed the apartment. So yeah, we have 2 cats. My cat is 1 and my roommate's cat is 2. So they're very young, they're very rambunctious, they love to play. They don't they do sleep all day, but they're also running around like mad, trying to climb things, just breaking things, especially when we're not here. They don't know what to do with themselves, I feel like. I feel like it's like a free-for-all. And my cat never scratches my chair, but then after being alone for a day, she got into the habit of scratching my chair. So that sucked. So yeah, I guess like not a whole lot actually happened this week. I was just feeling very overwhelmed about basically my home life. And then luckily I did have a decent weekend, so it was a 50-50 week for me. But anyway, moving on to the actual plans, starting with Monday, the first thing I marked was that I woke up at 6:57 a.m. Anytime I wake up before 7 a.m. is a huge deal, even if it's just minutes, because I don't do that. I don't even wake up at 7 a.m. very often. It's really hard for me to get out of bed on time. This was an in-office day, so I had to go into the office, which I hate, and I don't think I'll ever get used to it. It's just one of those things where, like, I feel like when people say that you get used to things after doing them, I don't actually think that's true for a lot of things. I think you just keep doing them and they're just as hard. Like every week, it's just as hard for me to go to the office, unfortunately. And that's not to say that in 6 months it won't get easier, but so far it's been it's almost been 3 months. Yeah, I've almost been working there for 3 months, and it is no easier going into the office. It's still just a dark cloud over my whole day. But it is what it is. You have to do it. And I am fortunate I only have to go once a week. So, I should be grateful for that. I also marked that there were some free snacks in the kitchen, which was pretty cool. Not that I need snacks. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear about, weight stuff or whatever. But my body is definitely looking like, I feel like the worst it's looked in years, and it's just such a bummer. I feel like I'm always upset with my body, and then it just keeps getting worse and worse no matter what I do. I'm watching what I eat. I'm cutting out snacks here and there. I'm trying to be realistic about it. I'm not you've seen my spreads. I eat out a lot, but I've always done that my whole life, and I don't know. And you know what? It's not even my weight. I don't weigh a lot. It's just my body. What would you call it? I don't know. Just where I'm holding my weight is not cute. So I don't know. All that to say, I don't need free snacks, but I took them. Because they were free. Then I had to go home and take care of the cats, and I did it immediately when I got home, because I just really like to get all of my responsibility over and done with. I then did my workout, and because I went into the office, I treated myself to Sweetgreen. So immediately after my workout, I ate my salad. Then my boyfriend came over and we watched The Bachelor. And then the final thing, he ended up staying the night, which is rare. And my poor Janet was freaking out. I knew she was a creature of habit, but I'm starting to realize cats in general thrive with a routine, but she is on another level. She needs me in my room at a certain time. She needs me in my bed at a certain time. When things are off for her, she's not happy. And I think the fact that he stayed over and she kept wanting to go in and out of my room, I don't know. She just had no chill this night. She was up all night screaming. So that kind of sucked. Moving on to Tuesday, the first thing I marked was that work was actually decent this day. I had enough tasks to keep me busy and to keep my mind active. I really, really, really don't just calling people and emailing people the same email. I like having different priorities, and even if it's just emails we're talking about, I like having different emails to send, involving different issues. I don't like doing the same thing all day. Well, no, that's a lie. I don't like doing sales stuff all day. Let's say that. My previous job, I did the same thing all day, and even though it did get a little mind-numbing, I enjoyed it. So all that to say, this day I had a nice balance of responsibility, and it really made the time go by much faster. That's the main thing. When I am making sales calls, the time drags, and I am all about making the workday fly. So there you have it. I was really tired because Janet kept us up all night, so I had 2 Red Bulls this day. While I was working, because Joe stayed over, he ended up looking at my vacuum, which has been broken, and I thought he fixed it, but now I don't think he did. I need him to look at it again. We watched another episode of Will Trent on my break, and we've officially given up on it. It's terrible, and I'm really disappointed because the Will Trent series is one of my favorite book series, and I got really excited actually the other night because an ad came on Netflix for something called Triptych, and one of the Will Trent books is called Triptych, so I got so excited. I thought, oh my God, a second chance at a Will Trent series or a Will Trent movie. No, it's a completely unrelated movie just with the same name as the book, so got my hopes up for nothing. I then, after work, worked on my Puzzle from Hell. I played Toontown with my mom while watching Emily the Criminal, which was decent. And then I didn't mark it, but obviously Joe left eventually at some point. He left around 3 p.m. But then he came back late that night to run on my treadmill after his soccer game. Moving on to Wednesday. Sorry, I'm like running out of breath I don't know. I need an inhaler to do these. Then moving on to Wednesday, the first thing I marked was that the cats were awful again the previous night. I decided to try leaving I can't remember what I tried this night, but basically they were both driving me crazy instead of just Janet driving me crazy. It's really hard having two cats who don't eat the same, just because I need to keep Brad out of my bedroom, and it's a whole thing. And now I've actually started feeding the cats earlier, so that way Janet doesn't have any food sitting out overnight that Brad can steal, but he will still come in my bedroom and scratch my area rug. So I still can't let him in my bedroom at night. I don't know why he does this. I have so many scratching posts everywhere, but and it's only in the middle of the night. He has no interest in doing this during the day, but in the middle of the night, he comes in and scratches my rug. And no matter how deeply I am sleeping, I hear that noise and shoot up and yell at him. So didn't sleep well again. Then I just marked work, and just more apartment drama, just with the whole door code situation. I'm not going to bore you with that more than I have to. I then walked 3 miles on the treadmill while watching TikToks. I did half of it during my break and then the other half right after work, because it takes me a little under an hour to do 3 miles. It's pretty time consuming, so not trying to spend an entire hour after work doing that. Then I did a voiceover, I worked on my puzzle from hell, and then just scrolled in bed until it was time to go to sleep. Moving on to Thursday, the first thing I marked was that I realized yet another thing had been stolen last Saturday. And I was very disappointed too, because I don't think I can get this item replaced since it's technically a replacement for a Christmas gift. Something my boyfriend had gotten me for Christmas came faulty. It was a faulty batch or something like that. It was like a sunscreen that I wanted. So I contacted the company. They sent me a replacement, and I got a notification this day that it had already been delivered on Saturday. Well, that's when everything got stolen. There were 4 things delivered on Saturday and 4 things stolen on Saturday. So I got upset all over again about it. I did email the company, but haven't really heard anything back. So I'm just gonna have to take a loss on that. Then I vacuumed everything. I washed the bath mats. I worked. I paid my electric bill. And then for whatever reason, I was extra hungry this day. And I really didn't want to do my workout before eating, but I knew that I had to because I can't work out right after eating. So I forced myself to work out even though I was hangry. And then the final thing on Thursday was that my roommate had gotten in contact with one of the owners in the building, and he's actually the guy who installed the gate, the code. And he told her that he was going to change the door code for the building. And so I just messaged him hey, I heard you're changing the code. Whenever you do you mind texting it to me so I don't get locked out? And then he sent this long, angry text about how it's not his responsibility, even though it quite literally is, because he owns one of the floors and he's the one who installed it and he's the only one who knows how to change the code. So it is his responsibility, but whatever. So I apologize for bothering him. He said it was fine, but it had already ruined my night because, number one, he's not changing the code. Even though he told my roommate he was, he decided not to after I messaged him. I guess I upset him by asking to have the code. And, to be completely honest, the first time he installed it, he never told anybody the code, and my roommate and I got locked out in the middle of winter and had to wait in the Chinese restaurant near us until he responded to us giving us the code. So excuse me for wanting it ahead of time this time. It doesn't even matter. He never even changed it. So I just have decided I no longer get items to my apartment, which is really inconvenient. I haven't even wanted to order stickers, although I did finally face my fear and place a sticker order, but I'm hoping that whoever's stealing all of my shit, and my neighbor's shit, that's the other thing. Like, a guy got bikes stolen. You don't want to change the door code? Like, whatever. But my point is, I don't think anybody's going to steal a flat cardboard mailer. So fingers crossed about that. But anything else, like, truly important that I can't go to a store to buy, I am just going to have to pick up from my grandmother's house. So that's life now. And if you are thinking, oh, why don't you just have it sent to a drop-off location? Welcome to Philly. That's a terrible idea. Half of the time, they don't scan your package in. The other half of the time, they scan it in, lose it. You go all the way there to pick it up. They can't find it. And then 2 weeks later, you get a notification that it's been sent back to the sender. It's just not it. So we're not doing that. Moving on to Friday. The first thing I marked Friday was my short work day. After work, I just did a bunch of planning, which was really nice. Then eventually I went over to Joe's place that evening and we got Blaze Pizza, and it was so cold outside. It was like 20 degrees and wind. So it felt like it was like 7 degrees or something disgusting like that. Then we made Oreo Dirt, which is actually supposed to be his birthday dessert, but we got so busy in July and then ever since then that we never made it. So this was technically his birthday dessert all the way from July. But we finally made it. It was delicious. And then we watched the challenge. Moving on to Saturday, I marked that it was the coldest day ever because this day, I believe it was 13 degrees was the high. And I was so bummed. We were supposed to go see All Time Low. We had gotten free tickets, but the concert was outdoors. You couldn't pay me to go. And looking back, I'm almost upset we still didn't just suck it up and go because the footage of the concert looked really good and I wish I had gone. I also love getting stuff for free. I don't know if you've caught on, but yeah, just definitely not worth it on this day. So we did not go to the concert, which was a bummer. I finished Dear Wife this day, which was the book I had slowly been reading, and it definitely picked up at the end. It's one of those books where you're reading from two people's point of view and one person is always more boring than the other person. Finally, at the end of the book, she got interesting. So then I was able to power through and I enjoyed it. Then I had to fill my tires because, of course, the cold had made all my pressure go down, which I was actually relieved that it was all of my tires instead of just the one that has 2 plugs in it because I know I'm going to have to get that replaced eventually. I then did a normal puzzle at Joe's place, and then we braved the cold to go to Aldi and Walmart because I really didn't want any responsibility on Sunday. So we went to do that. And then we got buy one, get one free cheesesteaks at this place that was edible, but we'll never go back. It was just a weird flavoring to the meat. Like, the meat was technically good, but just like not your normal cheesesteak flavor. So yeah, we're going to pass on that next time. And then we watched SNL. Moving on to Sunday, the first thing I marked was that I went home bright and early to take care of the cats, and they had trashed the apartment. They were alone for like less than a day and a half and had gone absolutely insane. Don't ask me how. Well, I can only imagine. One of them clearly had poop stuck to their butt. They scraped it on my carpet in the living room, and then whoever had poop on their butt pushed their butt against the wall, got poop on the wall. Brad had clearly found a candy wrapper or something because he loves eating plastic. It's so bad. And he had puked in the corner, so I had to clean that up. It was just a huge mess. Like, it was not fun at all, but whatever. Got to do what you got to do. Then what did we do? That's it. We just went to my place to take care of the cats. Then we went back to Joe's, and I just randomly decided to check on the car from hell. And the Nissan had a completely flat tire, which I'm really nervous about because if I'm hoping that there was a nail in the tire, but like the car has literally just been sitting there for months with no one driving it. So how did it get a flat tire? That's concerning. It's like one just completely flat tire. The battery's also dead because it hasn't been driven. So it's just like, I already didn't want to deal with the car, and now there's like these little stupid things that I have to do before we can even attempt to check what's wrong under the hood. Then Joe and I walked around his neighborhood collecting takeout menus for his elderly neighbor who can't really go out and get menus herself. And then we made roasted potatoes, and then just ate it with like the other half of our cheesesteaks because we don't eat a whole cheesesteak, neither one of us. So, so we just made a side and had our leftovers. I did another puzzle, and then we watched Triangle of Sadness, which was amazing, but definitely made me feel a certain type of way. Anytime there's like infidelity, I get angry. But it was really good. Definitely recommend. And then as far as my sidebar goes, I just marked that there was more renter drama. Because like also mixed into that, I know that my time in this apartment is coming to an end. I don't have a date 100% for sure, but it's definitely like within the year. The latest I would be here is March of 2024. So that would be like 1 full year from now, but that's going to fly by, and there's a slim chance of that. Odds are I'm going to have to figure out my next move by way before September, because I believe our lease is up in September. So that was also sort of weighing on me a lot this week. And yeah, just having everything stolen, the drama with the door code, it just a lot of like not feeling comfortable in my own home. And then I just marked that I was in charge of all of the cat care for the week, which again really isn't a big deal until the weekend. During the week, it's the honestly, I don't even mind cleaning the litter. I don't like going outside to take it out. That's the part I don't like about it. I don't like leaving my apartment, especially to go walk over to the gross trash can. It's just, it's not even a big deal. It takes like less than 1 minute, but I despise it. So yeah, that's really the only part that I mind. Not that dealing with wet food is fun either, but it's okay. Anyway, yeah, that is it for this week. There really wasn't much going on. It was pretty straightforward. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, especially if you stayed to the end, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.